As the head coach of the Chicago Bulls after 6 seasons, the Bulls made clear that the organization wanted Donovan back after making sweeping changes to their front office, but Donovan held an option in his contract for next season and elected to step down after extensive meetings with team ownership in the last week, sources said. Donovan determined he wanted to give the team a clean break. Gotta be honest, Wilbon, and Perk is back here with us. I don't know that I am shocked by this news. What's your reaction?
Not shocked. I didn't understand why the Bulls, first of all, I don't understand why the Bulls have made any of the decisions they've made in the last 4 or 5 years. I mean, you look at the playoffs right now and you see Ayo Dosunmu in this starring support role for Minnesota and you gave him away for a ham sandwich. You know, you look at Denny Avdia, you look at him, and the Bulls were prepared to take him, should have taken him. The scouts said, take him. No, we're going to take Patrick Williams, and we're going to double down on a dumb draft decision by giving him $95 million a few years later. So they've made one stupid decision after another, which had nothing to do really with Billy Donovan. I mean, I think I have liked Billy Donovan as coach, but it seemed, Shay, and we are Chicagoans, we follow this team closely. Time had just come and gone for Billy. I don't know that he was making any difference that was positive. Again, I am not putting the blame on Billy Donovan for that series of personnel decisions and what the Bulls are facing in that. The AK made those decisions, Karnisovas, and was fired as a result and should have been. Now we deal with the Billy Donovan of it all, which is sort of separate.
Yeah.
Was Billy going to make a difference? How was he going to make a difference with this next set of players? We don't even know where they're going. We have no idea. What are the Bulls on, a 5-year plan? So Billy Donovan's been there 6 years. He's going to have 5 more before they're competitive. 11-year plan for Billy Donovan? No, I didn't understand why he was staying, why the Bulls didn't make a clean break from all of this a few weeks ago when Karnisovas was fired.
By the way, Billy Donovan and the Bulls finished above 500 one time. It was the 2021-2022 season, the only time they went to the playoffs in his 6-year tenure. Your thoughts?
He should have been sprinting from that organization. Real talk. Let's keep it real. The Chicago Bulls have been one of the biggest disappointments in the NBA. When you talk about when we talk about history, when we talk about big markets, when we talk about historic franchises, this is a team that has been dysfunctional all across the board. Like, they don't know if they're going or coming. They don't know who their leader are. They don't know who their franchise guy are. They gave up on Kobe White. They gave up on Ayo. He's balling, like you said, for Minnesota. What are y'all doing? Every single season is no in between. Right? It's either you're trying to rebuild or you trying to go for it all. But it seemed like with the Bulls, every single year, they're in the middle. And we got to start holding them to the same level that we hold the Boston Celtics to, the Los Angeles Lakers to. It's about championships. And I believe that the fan base, and y'all can tell me, y'all frustrated at this point.
Like, why, Perk? It's the first sustained period of irrelevance.
Yes.
When I was a kid and played this card, the Bulls were relevant. They didn't win, but they were 50-win plus teams. They would lose. They couldn't beat Kareem and the Bucks. They couldn't beat the Lakers when the Bulls were in the Western Conference. Yes, boys and girls, the Bulls were in the Western Conference, and they couldn't bump through that ceiling. But they were never irrelevant. Then you had, of course, the Jordan years, where they're the opposite of that. They are the most relevant franchise maybe in any sport in the world. Then even you go through a few lean years, but you get Derrick Rose.
Derrick Rose, yeah.
And it looks like, oh my God, this again, you've got relevance. You've got a young star who's an MVP at 21 years old. Mm-hmm. Derrick, of course, gets hurt. And since then, it's just been
we were in
the wilderness.
LeBron sweepstakes.
It was, but they were in there against LeBron. There was a series in the conference finals against the Miami Heat and LeBron James, and if Derrick Rose is healthy, we play that game all the time. But now, the last 5 years, as you've mentioned, there was that moment with Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan and
Larry Markkinen
and Ball and where it looked like, whoa, wait a minute, they were the 1 seed before Ball got hurt, which was amazing. And so we've come out of that, and now they have just been irrelevant, turning down draft picks at a time where they should have been looking at this rebuild 3, 4, 5 years earlier. How about Caruso could have gone to Oklahoma City for 2 first-round picks.
Right.
They said, no, that's not on Billy Donovan, but it seems like there were places where guys were developing Kobe White. And there were players you looked at, you said, okay, that's the mark of Billy Donovan. His time in college, understanding how to bring young players along, meaning, 2 national championships in Florida. And he had that. But lately it has just been despair, and they are as irrelevant as any big market team in sports.
Like trade deadlines have come and gone, drafts have come and gone. And I don't know how you feel. I just sit there like the Bulls aren't going to do anything. Like this whole Giannis discussion, like they're now, albeit I know he has kind of pinpointed some cities, but Giannis supposedly had been walking around Chicago. You think anyone thought Giannis was going to Chicago?
No,
like there's never been a free agent, a big fish that we feel like, meaning Chicagoans, feel like, they might want. Never. We've completely fallen off the boat in terms of that. Who's recruiting them? Who's wanting them to go? There's no positive because it's just been in this no man's land.
So the next hire, Shay, is not the most important hire, isn't the coach. And that will be important. The hire is who's going to run this thing.
100%.
Right.
Well, and so that's another place where, the Bulls have not had a big swing.
Yeah.
It's time to have one.
Been a minute. The Bulls have not won a playoff series, by the way, since 20.
A little bit of breaking news while we were on the commercial break, courtesy of our buddy. I'm sorry, we're putting our ears up. Shams Charania, shout out. Billy Donovan out in Chicago as the Bulls coach. And now I wonder, where do we think he goes? Is he done? Does he take a hiatus?
I don't think he has finished coaching in the NBA, and I think obviously the hot take here is that Jamal Mosley might be out in Orlando, and that's a job that he's verbally taken before in the past. He's got ties to Florida, obviously, with being the coach of the Gators. He's got a house there, so that sounds like that could be a possibility. But again, now I look at the series, and the Magic are up 1-0 as an 8 seed against the 1 seed. What's Jamal Mosley's future actually like? I'm on record saying I hope they don't fire him, but if they do and they make a move in Orlando, I think Billy Donovan will be the next coach of the Magic.
It's by the way, Shams, there's a follow-up to this.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, and the Bulls apparently made it very clear that they did want him back, but he had the option in the contract, and he.
So again, that makes me think even more that Mosley, he's talked to her like
he knows there's something. He knows
there's
and
something
also
coming.
Things run his course. He's been in Chicago for a number of years.
Fair.
He's seen a lot of different roster turnovers that didn't work out. He's seen last night he watched one of his better players have a great night in Minnesota. He's probably like, you know what?
That's fair too.
I'm gonna find me something else to do.
This is also, and if the UNC, apparently he had no interest in the UNC job, which I thought that was interesting, but now maybe there's something else brewing.
Well, would you love that? That's your guy. That's
I
your
would love it.
guy.
I would love it. Like, he's a legend in Florida. He's a legend in that state. Like why not go back to Orlando and take the job? Because when I committed to him as a freshman, remember back in the day, he committed to take the job, and then 48 hours later, he DeAndre Jordaned it and had a change of heart and went back to Florida. So now it could happen.
Okay, there you go. That's breaking news. Billy Donovan out in Chicago as their head coach. That's a little Tuesday morning for you, but we do want to get back on track because the Golden State Warriors, there's a lot in the air here for this once dynastic team. They lost that game on Friday to Phoenix. There was a very sort of video moment between Steve Kerr, Steph, and Draymond at the end of this one, hugging, felt like I'm always going to be here for you guys, all of that stuff. It felt very final to me and to a lot of people. He called it a fading dynasty earlier in the season. Friday's loss, guys, is that the end of this team as we know it?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. They know it and we know it. But man, what a great run. They made history together. They were able to win championships. They became a household name as a unit. They were just able to win on a different level. They changed the game. They changed the culture of the game. I'll openly say that they're the reason that the game is played in a fashion that it's played with so many three-pointers, because if you wanted an opportunity to beat that Golden State Warriors dynasty group, you had to shoot just as many threes as they were, or at least teams felt like that was the way to beat them. And so they've made their mark. They've left their footprint on the game with changing the style of play. They were a group that came in and didn't have an expectation level to do the things that they were able to do and accomplish. So you got to give all of them the credit, but that's the end of the road for them.
Yeah, it's sad just because of the history and all the success that they've had, and it does make sense that if they're going to be a championship caliber team, then you might want to consider bringing Steve Kerr back. But are they that? What's Jimmy going to look like? What's Steph going to look like? Draymond Green? It just kind of looks like there's about to be a lot of turnover in this franchise. And again, the history that they've had, this is one of the best we've ever seen. So I feel like this could be a mutual split. Not even a breakup, but just figure out the best next decision. Billy Donovan's now available. So I mean, there's Taylor Jenkins. Like, there's a lot of coaches out there that are available, but who's going to want this job? Kind of this rebuilding process of a team that just came off so much success.
Well, you're still going to have Steph Curry. I don't see a world in which Steph Curry moves an inch. Like, that's going to be a consistent. I think that's going to be a constant. Whatever coach that comes in, if Steve Kerr decides to leave, you're going to have an opportunity to build around Steph Curry. That's a fact.
Well, the Kerr thing is that his contract's out, but then there were reports that, it'd be cool if he could just sign something that's like, when Curry's done, I'm done. But it sounds like Lacob actually wants to give him a multi-year, so I don't know if Kerr's interested in something like that.
And I'll tell you this, I'm breaking some news today. That whole talk yesterday, reports about Todd Golden from University of Florida going there.
I saw that.
1,000% not true. He ain't going anywhere.
Put your name on it, Chandler.
Right. This is an anonymous source, or this, what is it?
Anonymous
sources. He ain't going anywhere. So enough with that.
So stop it.
Bogus.
We don't respect anonymous.
Yeah, with
you know that.
Your bogus reports.
So
sources say. Well, I say he's going back to Florida. How about that?
Okay, fair enough. There no changes are happening there. Ramona Shelburne reported, though, that if Kerr does leave, that they could actually make some pretty dang big changes. What does that mean?
We're going to put some pieces around Steph Curry.
But who leaves? That's the change, right?
Well, I think if I'm just guessing based on watching it, I think Steve Kerr leaves.
Okay.
I think Draymond leaves. I think Steph stays, and they build around him.
Clay comes
Jimmy?
back.
And that's another hot take. But listen, this is a free agent class this summer that a lot can happen. It's some pieces out there that can put them right back in the conversation. If you're starting at Steph Curry, all you need is one piece, like a piece and a half.
He said he has years left.
All you need is like a piece and a half. And he's also said that he's willing to play a different role. I don't think this is what happens here, but as he gets into his latter years, he's willing to do whatever possible to win another championship. So pay attention to that free agent class.
Sure.
Pay attention to this coaching change, and I think they put themselves back in this conversation.
There's one really good player in Milwaukee that's really unhappy.
I forgot about him. It's been 10 minutes since we didn't talk about him.
Real rumors of him. And again, like Lou just said, Steph Curry is still an elite basketball player. He's still an all-NBA, all-star type player. You have him. You have San Francisco, which is a great market, new arena. You have an unbelievably ran franchise and organization that knows how to win and knows how to build a team. This is definitely still going to be a destination. I don't think they're going to go full rebuild. I think come next season, come October, I think we'll be talking about a team that has a chance to make some noise in the playoffs next year. And I don't even know who's going to be on the team.
We don't.
Like who's gonna pass up the opportunity to play with Steph Curry if it's really on the table?
And nobody's going to do that. Guys, we're going to do a little interview right now. Ricky